This is number 8 in our series of live demos to show the progress the development team has made during each sprint of the Spotlight development effort. But this is the first demo you've seen about Spotlight. Spotlight is a plugin that adds features to Blacklight to enable librarians, curators, and others to easily produce feature-rich websites that highlight digital collections from institutional repositories and other data stores. As in past Spotlight demos, we're starting here with an exhibit site on which a curator has already done some initial work. We have a title and a subtitle. We have imported repository items that have been indexed. And we've added some feature pages, some browse categories, and some about pages. This sprint was technically a 2-week sprint, but half of the Spotlight team was unavailable for much of those 2 weeks. So our progress was a bit less dramatic than in past sprints. Still, the team has made some important enhancements to existing features, and we've added a couple of useful new features. Most of this work is on the administration and curation side of things, so I'm going to head over there. And the first thing I'd like to show is a feature we've added to improve the curation workflow when working with metadata fields. What we've done is enabled bulk selection and deselection of metadata fields. So when an exhibit has many metadata fields, such as our example here, it can be somewhat tedious if you want to only show a small number of metadata fields for a given view. So what we've done is made it really quick and easy to deselect and then just pick the few fields you might want to show in a given view. So for example here, and I've for our search results views other than the list view, I've restricted it to a small number of fields. So gallery, for example, only shows geographic region and temporal subject. And if I save that, I can really quickly go from this was what it was previously. Now if I refresh, this is the gallery view. Now I only have those 2 fields that I wanted to show. So that just makes it a lot quicker to customize the fields for display on the different pages and views. We've also added another significant feature that extends the ability of the exhibit administrator to customize the appearance of an exhibit. Specifically, enabling the administrator to customize the display label and order of the main menu, the main navigation menu items. So by default, we have home, curated features, browse, and about as our default labels for the main navigation menu. And although we think these default labels in the menu order are reasonable defaults, we recognize that there'll be curators who want to use other labels and perhaps another display order for these items. So now we have this section in the appearance page that allows the administrator to easily change these display labels. So as with other items in our administration and creation section, when the administrator or curator is able to change a label, we do that directly with edit in place. And so, for example, they could change curated features to exhibit themes, and maybe they want to call about us. And for demonstration purposes, maybe they want to have the browse menu selection be the second selection after home. So we just make those changes, we save them, and now you'll see that the menu changes the order, and instead of curated features, we have exhibit themes as a title, and instead of about, we have about us. So those are really easy to change now, and of course the changes in the display label are reflected in the breadcrumbs and sidebar titles as appropriate. One other feature here is, although we allow now these to be changed by the administrator, we also recognize that an institution may want to have as much consistency in the menu labels as possible amongst their exhibits. So we have made it easy for the administrator to return to the default values for the menu labels, just to make it easy to restore those default values. So we're back to the default values. And let me just make the order, the original order. While I'm in the administration and creation section, there are a couple more minor enhancements I'd like to point out, although these are really just styling and layout updates. So first on the settings page, we've made the delete exhibit call out just a little more scary looking, since we really don't want anybody using this unless they are very sure they want to delete the exhibit. On the feature and about pages, we've condensed the page item panels here, these panels. So they're more compact by moving the links over to the right side. They're more compact, makes the page easier to sort of glance and see all your pages and work with the pages there. Similarly, on the search facets page, we've made these item panels more compact, and here we've also made a little enhancement where now we only show the unique values for a given search facet when there are actually items that are using that facet. And on all these pages where we allow the edit in place of titles, we made a minor enhancement this sprint where when the user mouses over the item panels, we show an edit icon just to make it a little more clear that these titles are editable in place. So again, these are pretty minor updates, but I think they'll improve the experience of working with the administration and curation pages a bit. I'm going to head over to the end user side of things to show one last enhancement we made this week, which improves the search results views, specifically the slideshow view. So the slideshow view is one that we added in a recent sprint, and it's actually part of the Blacklight Gallery gem. But what we did there was really just a first draft. In this sprint, we tried to do pay a little more attention to it and improve the visual appearance and interaction a little bit. So first, we've made the grid of thumbnails more compact and more regular. The idea here is with the slideshow view, we really want to show as many thumbnails in a small space, because the idea is really just to give the user a way to launch the slideshow. And then when you go into the slideshow, we've improved the styling of the slideshow view itself and the controls a little bit here, and simplified a little bit. And I think this will, in production use, this will look even a little better because we're only showing thumbnail-sized images here, and ideally these would be full-size images and take much more of the screen, and so be a little more visually impressive, I think. The development team also fixed a handful of bugs this sprint, including a couple that were reported by somebody external to the Spotlight team who was trying to implement a Spotlight instance. So we were encouraged to see somebody not part of the core team working with Spotlight. Yeah, and that's it for Sprint 8. For Sprint 9, starting next week, we intend to tackle more end-user features and enhancements. So stay tuned for the Sprint 9 demo video.